Thank you so much. The project, we have seen to read that there is great work going on within Banjul, and there are a lot of roads constructed or some are under construction, and the sewage system, we have seen to read that they are clearing the drainage, and um, and they are working on the sewage as well. Um, I think after the completion of the project is going to be a great beneficiary to the people of Banjul and the country at large. Though there are challenges, we really need serious attitudinal change in terms of how to dispose our waste, because we have seen already that the drainage is used as a dustbin, which is unaccepted. But I believe Gay Construction will work hand in glove with BCC to ensure that after all this great job, there is kind of sustainability or maintenance, how to ensure that the work will be monitored, and so that people change their attitude to take responsibility, to know that this is Banjul. If it is messed up, it's going to affect the entire nation. We are so much disheartened with the way people are treating the environment. So I believe with the great work that the Gay Construction is doing with the roads, so it's going to give easy access to people to move, within Banjul around. It's going to promote trade also, the business. Banjul is the heart of the Gambia. So if Banjul is not taken care of, the whole country is going to suffer. So we are really, motivated, though there are a series of challenges which we put to Gay himself to ensure that let him have, qualified people to do the job, let him have the quality material for the job, so that it will be sustainable at the end of the day. And which he promised us that, the expertise is there, and they are going to ensure that, anything put on the road is tested, to satisfaction before it's used on the road.
Okay. In your opinion, what are some of the critical areas that you think needs to be looked into in order to sort out?
Yeah, the critical thing is how to ensure that the drainage, the drainage is a critical concern, because, we have been seeing all along when it rains in Banjul, water doesn't move, it stays at one place. We want water to be, easily let out, to get out of Banjul, and which we have seen step is taken, though it's not proper, it's not finished, but they promise, they are going to have a wall, around it so that water will easily pass.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My question will be, as today...
Expectations are to see to it that there is value for money in the projects. The projects are owned, people show ownership to the project. It's high time we all know that whatever is done is taxpayers' money that is going into. And therefore, all of us should have serve as monitors to know that whatever the government is doing is our government, and is our money that is going into it. The money is not coming from individual pocket, but it's taxpayers' money. So we must be, responsible and to ensure that it serves for its purpose.
What's your rate of satisfaction towards the BCC road?
The BCC road also, we are so much impressed with what the BCC is doing, and though we will recommend that let there be strong monitoring, and let them also engage NRA in whatever road they are constructing. Because the reason why we are talking about NRA is the institution that is mandated to monitor the construction of roads in this country. So if NRA is empowered, if NRA is involved, we believe that there will be proper work done in terms of road construction in this country. So our recommendation to BCC is to engage the relevant authorities in whatever they are doing. But we are really impressed with the work that they are also doing in Banjul. Thank you.
how it is progressing. And this will give them the opportunity to better understand why are we saying these things. And the misconception that is going around that this international conference center is lodged at a place which has sent out the monkeys from the monkey part. For those, because Gambians don't know their environment. I have been with ITC for 15 years and I know the demarcation and I know where they are. So I know that the monkey park has not been touched. These premises here is international certain centers place, and it has been given to them, though it was leased, but because of a national issue, they had to give it to the government of the Gambia. So those misconceptions need to be cleared and people need to know. And I think it is also important that as a ministry, you also update, now that you know the existence of the Project Monitoring Committee of the National Assembly, which is mandated by the Constitution to go and look at all the works that the government of the Gambia has contracted and is doing. Because most of these monies, even as a grant, your salaries and everything, counterpart funding is coming from the taxpayers' money. So they need to know about it, and we need to show the quality of the work that is doing. So I think that information sharing is also very important, and make sure that all the key stakeholders are put on top of the things and issues so that they are able to better understand their part, like the Forestry Department, the National Environment Agency, which have to give you impact assessment certificates at an interval of, I don't know, 12 months or maximum. So all those things have to be clear to the people. On behalf of the committee, I want to take this opportunity to thank you and the ministry, and also for you. We need people like you, young people, who are very much committed, dedicated to the nation. That's very important, and then so that people can also, and I think you also need to showcase the work that you are doing so that young people can be motivated to go into engineering works that is going to really help the Gambian people and also the populace. So on that note, on behalf of my able chairperson and all my colleagues here, we want to profoundly thank the ministry and all our collaborators, and also the government of the People's Republic of China for coming up with this big initiative for the Gambian people. Thank you.
Initially, we signed this contract in 2016, wherein we started mobilizing, and then we had the change of the political impasse, and we were stopped during that time. And we remobilized again in 6 months. Afterwards, we had some design challenge which had to be provided by the client, and that was mitigated later on by the Ministry of Higher Education on 22nd of February 2018. We started getting on together with those works, and later on in the month of August, there were some MEP schedules which had to be provided by the designer, which could not be completed. Unfortunately, this was, catapult with the delay in payments against approximately $7 million, which was payable to Shapurji, and due to which the project got delayed. And now things, wherever areas are available, we are trying to muster up the maximum possible, and we are trying to work on areas wherever funds are available to us.
Is the 7 million you're talking about, is it paid to your company?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. It is due from the donors, and we look forward for government in resolving this issue as soon as possible.
Who are the donors responsible for this payment?
They are the 5 groups which are involved in the Saudi Fund, the Kuwaiti, Badia, OFID, and the government of the Gambia.
So presently, with our funds, how are you managing with the construction, considering the number of employees you are employing at the moment?
Well, we are struggling, but nonetheless, we can't just leave the site, and we have to continue, because unfortunately it is for the development of the Gambia, and we want to contribute the maximum possible as Shapurji, and we are trying our best to maintain. But nonetheless, we really look forward to the government to assist us, to help us in getting this resolved as soon as possible.
With the funds not coming as expected, do you expect to complete the construction on the due date?
Well, it will be very challenging. I don't think so it will be possible for any company, any contracting company, any construction company to go ahead without funds. So I think most important is for the government to look forward how best they can assist and get these funds available to us, so that we can complete the project within the stipulated time. In case the funds are in place, we'll be able to complete the project in March 2021.
Is your company transacting or processing this thing with the government to make sure that the funds are available and on time?
We have been interacting with the government, with the Ministry of Higher Education and different departments, Ministry of Works. And since we have been writing to them, lots of correspondence have exchanged. And we have been assured we have been assured quite a number of times that this will be deblocked and will be available. I'm sure the Ministry of Higher Education, the PCU are working on it to get this sorted out as soon as possible.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
To come and monitor, it's part of our mandate to monitor the infrastructural projects that is taking place within the country, and Kerewane in Jawara is one of those projects. So the select committee, we are here with our honorable men and women and journalists and our clerks from the office of the parliament. So we are out to see the level of implementation, your challenges, and your expected time to complete the work, and how whether there is value for money. You know how important this particular road is to the people living in this area. How well are they going to be connected? So we thank you for the welcome that you have given to us.
Thank you very much, Honorable. We first introduce the contractor. My name is Jonas Ajamai, work for Cityscape Associates, supervision consultant on this project. Of Kiriwan in Jawara Road is 9.6 kilometers. It's a joint venture between Chinogam Company Limited and Foresight Engineering. We have here Chinogam, we have here Foresight. We have UNOPS as the implementing agency, and we have the project manager for the consultants also here. The project is a 9-month project. Then we have the deferred liability period of 6 months. We are currently 6 months in the project. The contract sum is 459,543.45 in dollars, USD. The contract sum is 459. Yes, 543.45. That's the dollars. That's the general sum. But the civil works, sum for the civil.
Almost 45,950
Yes. $459,000. And the civil work is 442,878. Looking at the stretch, a kilometer may be taken as 46,000 per kilometer for this road. We have the scope of works that's been written in the leaflet you're holding. Yeah, you can go over that, we'll skip it. Yeah. Completed activities, site clearing is completed, topsoil removal, road bed preparation, sub-base 1, sub-base 2. Outstanding works now is wiring course, drainage structures, and then road furniture. The contractor is here to start the last layer, which is the wiring course, which will be started by Monday. And the hydraulic structure, we have the main hydraulic structures are drifts. We have 4 main drifts. We have the locations in the leaflets. Progress, as of today, the physical progress is 74%. Our physical progress are not paid items. They are physical works that are being done on site. But when it comes to the financial progress, there are paid items from the bill, which is about 69.8%. But the contract elapsed is 66%. It means the contractor is ahead of time, or some 2-3%. Yeah. The project starts January 4th. It will end in October 3rd. Attached to what we have some pictures and then the program of work for the contractor. Based on the program of work, supposed to start his wiring course earliest June, but due to 1 or 2 issues, he couldn't start. He will start it by next week, but he's ready to complete the project before time. Hopefully by the end of this month, he will be done with the wiring course and then the concrete structures.
You said you got delay in what?
No, based on his program.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not being delayed by any issue. Nothing has there was no issue for this.
It's supposed to be done in June.
Earliest June.
Okay, but it was late.
Yeah, it was late. But due to other factors, especially the borough pits, trying to organize materials for the second layer. So the second layer of the sub base rather delayed. That delayed him for the start of the wiring course. Yes.
Yeah, during the period of construction, do you have any challenges so far?
On this particular project, there is no challenge.
No challenge.
Yeah.
or foundation and everything is going fine. Now, if government has any other projects where they want to make it thorough, the same company or the same people could be contracted if the job is okay. But when we have in our report that it's going to be 6 meters wide, at the end of the day, it's compromised on the road, 4 meters or 5 meters, we cannot recommend to the government. And this is going to be laid before our colleagues at the National Assembly. So at the end of the day, if we report, they will say then you didn't do your work well. So how can that be? Because maybe our team might come else and they might give different report.
I can assure you one thing. This road is 6 meters, but according to this thing, it's 8 meters. We widen it to 8 meters instead of 6 meters.
Yes.
So we are working in at least 2 meters.
Bravo for that.
Extent.
Bravo for
so we are doing 8 meters instead of 6 meters.
Okay. That's good.
In the communities, as I said.
Yes, we understand. Because since there is
we are restricted.
Compensation.
We are restricted. And the road contractor, the road ends in the village. Yeah, but the contractor decided to move
to
the end.
Pane. Yes, Alcalo. National Assembly. They know said lijevi. Wow. So then go commencer. Amulen ben jafe. Wow, yonin ndox water. Waaw. Am na yoon kër dañoo flotte. Waaw. Bu nekkee yonin ndox yi génn nañ rek. Waaw. dina baax. Wax nga day tegal daal. Ñaar bi tam bëggoon nañ ngeen defal ñu ko dara mu nekk mu ndax. Waaw, wax nañ ko. Mo dégg la. Xam nga bi bu tawé ni bu ci moto yi jaaré da nga mu def poto noonu. Waaw. Waaye bu nekkee ne am na ko dara da nga gis na o bobu tamit dina ñëw inshallah ci kanam.
We thank you from the ministry down to the National Road Authority, likewise the contractors here. That is Big Chino, Gambia, and then come. And then Foresight. And UNOPS too, definitely. We thank you abundantly. And then we appreciate all that you've shown us. And then, like, if you look at this, when I read it and realized issues or concerns that we have, we said no issues over. So definitely it is a step in the right direction, and we applaud you, continue on the good work, because we are doing it for our people. We are doing it for the people who know that they entrust us to be in those positions. And then we don't mind to contact the NRA in terms of regarding any challenges through the committee. We are more than willing to support you, help you in the advocacy, help you in whatsoever that you need for the betterment of this project. And we pray that it continues to the finishing part, like the Alcalo said, put it like they said, go wrong. Thank you very much.
Jërëjëf Alkaaj nan nuyu mbir mi waay
jërëjëf kontaan nañ bëgg ñun jërëjëf waay kontaan nañ bëgg nañ Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Gambia Bridge Project.
Okay.
I am Mohamed Ziwi, from the engineer from the joint venture CETEC France with the Studio International from Tunisia.
Tunisia.
Yeah. Me, I am part of study. The bridge, the Gambia Bridge, is the length of the bridge is 942. Is the main structure. The main structure of the bridge is 942 meter. Extended by axes at both sides. The length of the axis is 810 meter. So the wall structure is 1 kilometer 892 meter. We have what I say with the transition area to connect the project to the existing route. The project started on the 22nd December 2004. December, yeah. On the start end of June 2017. So the initial duration for the project, it was 36 should be extended and we finish 36 months at the beginning to get to the foundation of the bridge, because we changed the design for the foundation for the piles, and also due to the changes of the axis, the design of the axes, because in the basic design the axes were embankment, and we changed them in the structural solution. This was required to add extension of time to the project. So we finished the project by the end of June 2019. On 21st January 2019, we opened the main bridge with part of the structural solution, temporarily for the small axis for small cars. And from the 1st of July, the bridge is opened to all traffic. From the
1st of July?
Yeah, from the 1st of July, yeah.
That's this Monday. This Monday.
So now it's finally open.
Yeah.
Finally open, yeah.
We have to complete some small jobs.
But we allow you to finish, we ask?
I think I give you the data required to explain what is the situation of the project.
You said there was a temporal opening.
Yeah.
This was when?
I told you the 21st January 2019.
2019.
Yeah.
Now you allow small vehicles to.
That's because the bridge was not finished. It was possible to open it for the small cars.
That didn't have effect on the work.
No problem. If it was a problem, we will not do that. It was possible, so we did that, and we follow working on the rest of the structural solution.
All right. So, what are some of the small works that are left for the bridge?
Now with the
finally completed. I know it's completed.
Now it's only the light for the bridge.
Light, okay.
And also this end sections to connect for the barriers. And we have small area there to connect, also to finish with the what you call it, with the safety barriers.
Small barriers.
Yeah, I think the main works remaining now is to complete with the poles for the light, and some small works regarding the safety barriers.
The temporal access.
Yeah.
The access that we were using from January 21st or 22nd has to be closed.
We are closing there.
We are working on those two sites for now.
I'm not temporary. So, okay, there will be also
we need
lights.
to close it with barriers.
Yes.
Okay.
It was not included in the initial contract. They added after, and I think for safety it's much better to have light at the bridge. Yeah.
So what about the toll booths. I think,
Yeah,
is it going to remain
what is,
permanently
good question. You attracted my attention for something. The remaining works regarding the initial project is the contract is to implement the toll facilities. So the toll facilities, the client delayed a little bit because it was to have to choose how to do. We don't have too much money to implement what is required. By the end, the client decided to implement what is the important matters. Yeah, what is required in order to make them operational. So these works are already started to where we should implement deviations at that sections. The works are ongoing. We hope that maybe by the end of September. By the end of September, the tolls will be ready for that. But for now, no problem. We have this solution. The client is using that as tolls. I don't think there is no constraint for that to use the bridge.
So who are the custodians of the funds that are collected from the toll booth?
It is not my business.
I'm talking to him. And he needs to tell us that.
That's
we have
right.
the Gambians need to know about it.
Yeah, that's right. We are working here together with the ferry services. They are collecting the money, but they are together with NRA. NRA is there as a backup. We also collect the same data. They sell the ticket, and we receive the ticket from the other end, get all the details on the ticket, and then give it over to the drivers to move. But at the end of the day, we try to reconcile our records to see that what they have, what the records that we have captured from the tickets is the same records that they have issued. So at the end of the day, the bank will come, EcoBank will come, and then we cash the money.
So there is a special account for this?
There is a special account for this, NRA special account.
So the ferry service could go along with the bridges in order to control the unforeseen. Is it possible?
Say again?
The ferry services.
Mm-hmm.
Whether the ferry service is still going to go alongside with the bridge?
Well, I can't say much about that, but what I understand from the director, they are going to operate alongside the bridge to take care of those vehicles that may not be able to go on the bridge, as they said, and also the cattle that are crossing from one side to the other. Yeah. But for now, we rarely see vehicles that would not go by the bridge. Very few. Maybe in a day we may have one or two that would say, I will go by the ferry. Yeah.
Why are they choosing?
Why should they go?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what their reason. Yes. I know they prefer to go by the ferry. Yeah.
But it will be. This is a grant funded by the African Development Bank.
Yeah.
65 million euros.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, if these funds are collected and deposited in a special account, which is now controlled by NRA,
yeah,
how are the funds going to reach to the central government?
Well, I have no clue about that.
That one is to have
I to go to the administration.
No, we are getting it from here, and then from
we cannot answer these questions.
No. What I can tell you is that if it is something to do with administration, I don't have any answer. Because I am on the ground technically, so for the implementation of the work.
I think like he said, we engage them and we told us that they did inform us that this money they are going to see how the money will be used in maintenance of the roads and the bridges, the bridge in particular.
Yeah.
So that one is not a problem.
Yeah. In fact, according to the bank, the revenue goes to NRA to be able to take care of the maintenance of the bridge, and also to be able to build other roads within the country.
I think it is for two purposes according to our engagement with them.
Yeah.
One is for the maintenance and upkeep of the bridge.
Yeah.
Then the other one is going direct to government coffers. Because I can even remember the minister was saying it's like going to be like a
Kalen Road.
Yes, money making, something like that.
Money making must.
Exactly.
To do Kalen Road.
Now I have a question now. We have seen that the access road is still a challenge to people. You know, what are you doing? You know, or what method are you, or what effort are you making to see to it that the access road is?
Yes. As we speak now, we have already arranged with a contractor, that is the same contractor that built the bridge, to do this road. So any moment from now, he would start work to finish it.
Again, or is it
It will be financed by the contractor.
It will be financed by the contractor, and then we'll try to pay him later.
Like, no, it's not pre-financed. I think it's the general project. It's like,
it's going to be pre-financed.
Yeah.
It's the general project. The project, according to what the majority have mentioned.
This is discussion between. This is discussion between the client and the contractor.
And the contractor, exactly.
They decide. They don't decide. It's
the contract was
it's
awarded for the bridge and the corridor.
Yes, and the corridor.
Exactly. So now what is remaining is part of the work that should be done. How should it be done is left to the contractor. If you want to give it to Sao, come on do it.
Okay. No. One thing I want to make clear: this access, this section is not part of the bridge project. It's not part of the project. Yeah, that's right. Fine. That's.
NRA is here. Okay. Yeah. So this corridor, how soon do you plan to work on the corridors? Do you know any?
No, at the moment I don't know anything about that. Yeah, the corridor. Yeah.
Do you have any questions concerning the GPA ferry?
Yes.
I think we made a mistake. We should have done the introduction.
So how are you doing?
Welcome. We have done the introduction.
We have a concern. Like me, I'm with the view that the ferry should continue. The simple reason is that, like some of the goods, that cannot be, used on the bridge, and the load on the bridge also could be reduced, because if all the vehicles want to ply, along the bridge, maybe its lifespan also, it might cause some effect on the lifespan. So how do you see that? Do you have any plan to maintain the ferries?
Yeah, that question should be answered by my boss, Uncle Hali, but right now he's not around. But some trucks cannot go through the bridge because they know the condition of their trucks. So most of them, when they come to weigh, we ask them, do you want to use the bridge or the ferry? They say ferry. So they go through to the ferry. It's that left to the drivers. I don't know. Maybe some of them, it's little high for them their trucks to pass there. Yeah, that's why they use the ferry for now.
Okay, I think the question that he asked for the permanent solution, whether the free service is going to continue or is it going to cease?
Yes.
Like he said,
in your own view. In your own view.
That one I can answer for now. Yeah, I don't know whether the ferry should continue or not.
Yeah. No, what do you mean your opinion?
Yeah.
What is your recommendation? Because we are here, we are collecting information, and we would like to see.
I wish if the ferry can still continue. Still with the bridge.
Because, why? Because of vehicles cannot climb also.
Yeah, one, and like you say, the animals and some passengers who want to use the ferry can still use there. Yeah, if the ferry can still continue, I think that would be very good anyway.
All right, thank you.
Thank you too.
Okay.
The truck should be loaded as required, not overload. The condition of the trucks and vehicles and all should be also acceptable. In some countries, they do control of the trucks. You have maybe 1 time a year or 2 times a year, you take your truck to somewhere to check it if it's in good condition or no. Now, of course, if you have a truck and the bricks are not good, here you have a stop of 5%. If you are overloaded and all, so this means you are driving a truck which it is not safe. Now the problem can be here or somewhere else. I think it is not linked to our bridge. This is linked to this safety matter should be a concern of everybody. When the truck is not good, you should not use it at all, because any problem the brakes are not good or something like this. But I think the truck, when it's in good, when the truck is in normal condition, there is no problem. The slope is quite acceptable. 5% is nothing. you know, the slopes can go like 7%. Now, if there is overload, maybe when he take the slope on this side, might be too hard for him. And also the second problem is when they take the slope on the other side, he has to have a good, and he has also to know knowledge how to drive the tracks. Okay. So I think this is safety matters. They should be look at them in order to make the road safe.
And to enforce, to elaborate on that safety aspect that he's talking about, we have also put up a measure. That is, we observe the vehicles that are coming. If we observe that this particular vehicle, to our own judgment, may find it difficult to go through the bridge, we question the driver of his insurance. We make sure it has a proper insurance, a valid insurance. Thereby, when he takes the risk, we think he cannot go and he takes the risk. If anything happens, then his insurance will be able to cover up the damage. So that is a measure that we put in place.
Okay, like I forget the terminology. That the facility they use to weigh vehicles, which they are overloaded. Because I think absolute load. I think it is also necessary. It's very important. If we can have it around here, it will help. Because I know majority of our truck drivers they overload some of these trucks, and we that it's not good on the road and neither on the bridge. So I don't know whether that is also part of the plan to have some of these.
I will hand you over to Mr. Kohli, who is from the Ministry, the Planning. Mr. Kohli, welcome. Okay. Something to answer on that.
Yeah, as you say that it is important to have access load because for the durability of the road when the vehicles are overloaded, so it's necessary to have it. Yeah, it's definitely necessary to have it.
As I explained to the Honorable National Assembly member and the team leader for this committee, we conducted an exercise, registration exercise of those vendors that existed in Bambatenda and Yelitenda prior to the start of the construction works of the bridge. So this was 2012, 2013 we revised the list, in 2014 also we made another revision. But this was jointly done with the representatives from African Development Bank. You know, African Development Bank is the funding agency for this project. So they are concerned that the vendors around there who are getting their livelihood cannot just leave that place like that. They have to get something to continue their life on. So they requested the government to give them compensation. And this compensation is in the form of a market stall that is that is being built, and both Farafenya side and which is Batenda, and Soma side, that is Yelitenda. So here we are at the side of the stall being built market for those stall owners at Yalitenda, that is Soma side. And another a replica of this is taking place in Farafenye to accommodate those vendors at Bambatenda side.
And how many stalls do we have here?
We have 150 stalls here.
At Bambatenda?
Yeah.
At Bambatenda? At
Soma? Yeah.
At Soma here?
Soma here.
What about Farafenye?
Yeah, the same.
The same?
Yeah.
150 stalls?
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of monetary compensation, how much?
They were each given 15,000 so that they move where they are. Because at the time we were doing the access, we need to move them. They were supposed to wait until we finish the markets. We give them that money each to be able to transport their goods to the new market.
How long will the construction of this market last?
It will last for 10 months. It's a contract of 10 months. Yeah, for both markets. They are going simultaneously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is the bridge, and here we are at the market that is, to be constructed, a proposed market, to compensate those business people at the bridge. What is your impression about the state of work you've seen?
Definitely, we are happy with the work at the bridge because now the bridge is completed, as you can see by yourself. Now the vehicles can, pass through the bridge, though the ferry also is in service, which we, came to notice. And we really welcome that one because there might be other vehicles that might not be safe to to drive on the bridge, so they can use the ferry. Okay, and animals also like cattle, they cannot walk on the bridge. They can be easily transported by using the ferry. Mm-hmm. So I think ferry service is highly recommended to be in place until further when other developments are made. Now, but coming to the markets, because there are supposed to be two markets constructed in Farafenye and in Soma to compensate, the vendors that are normally at the ferry side, landing side. Now, this is a way forward, but what we want is let them take high speed, or they take they are quick in the work, because the vendors, we still see that some of them are there and it's not safe for them. So when trucks are coming or when vehicles are coming from the bridge, who knows what is going to happen? So they are selling. We want the council to collaborate, with the guys constructing, so that those women or children who are selling there, or men, let them leave the place. But they cannot also, maybe, they cannot leave the place since the place is not ready, the market is not ready. Mm-hmm. So we learned that there is going to be 150 stores that are going to be constructed. Okay, but we also learned that there were other people who came after the survey. Mm-hmm. So they are not catered here. I don't know what the council will do so that those people also have a place where they can sell. That's a concern.
Okay, what about the access route on both sides? It's still not...
the work is in progress, okay, and we hope so. We are going to engage NRA, we are going to engage Ministry of Works to ensure, that, the work is done, because the access roads are still, they are still challenged to the transportation, because it's all geared towards free movement of goods and services. So once the access roads are not completed, it's still going to have an impact on the free movement of goods and services. So we want to urge the Ministry of Works, in collaboration with the with the funders, to ensure that the work is started now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Majority Leader. We have just tracked this Basse Fatoto road project, and here we are at the bridge linking Basse to Willy. But according to discussions, the contractors are experiencing some difficulties with the people, the communities here concerning about the road project. Now, what advice do we have as National Assembly member for the contractors and the communities to facilitate the easy flow of the road project?
Well, I think one of the key things that the project coordinators and the implementing partners would have done is to engage on vigorous sensitization programs to bring all the stakeholders on board and then tell them all the merits and demerits of the project. I think that is very key because the information, it seems, is not flowing. And as we said earlier on in the morning, they need also to look at the issue of local knowledge in the communities so that the consultants and the engineers will have to work closely with the local residents and also the beneficiaries to explain the impact of the training program, the road construction programs. But one of the key obstacles that they have faced, and as we were told in the morning, is the absence of an EIA, which has not been completed by the Department of National Environment Agency. And I think that is very key. So in future, I think what the ministry and NRA needs to do is to ensure that the EIA is fully complemented and then implemented, and the validation is done before they go into the signing and work process of the project proper.
Yeah, and also we have gone to a village where it is the project has heavily affected them in terms of rains that you have for the contractors, and of course we talk about the stakeholder cooperation.
Yeah, it all comes down again to the knowledge and the understanding of the communities, the beneficiaries. They need to be told in advance that this is the construction and the level of the road, what it is going to be. If you all can see, that place is a slopey area and it is almost a swampy area. And if you look at the level of the road from the other side of the community where it is very high, and if they want to take that level, then that means the whole compound is almost 2.5 meters deep on below the line of the road. So those things, when the water comes, it will just flow in and don't run into the other side of the compound. So I think that that sensitization needs to be done, and the culverts need to be prepared in advance so that the waterway can have its way to be able to go into the streams. If that is not done, then more compounds are going to be devastated and the impact is going to be very high, and we are almost getting deep into the rainy season. Accommodation is becoming a problem. We have seen that the whole family has been moved to another compound where they are staying, and that is also costing a lot of havoc. So I think all those issues boiled together will, what the bottom line will be, to understand the project, its impacts, and what they need to do with the beneficiaries and stakeholders. And as I said, they need to take advantage of the Basse radio and other community radios and other print media and use the expertise of the members of the Technical Advisory Committee of URL to give them advice, technical advice, where all heads of institutions, departments, and agencies are members of that committee.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, most welcome.
As the chairperson of the National Assembly Select Committee on these government projects, we have just tracked the Basse Fatoto Road, and here we are at the Basse Willy bridge that is going to link Basse to Willy. And of course, we have also went to Koina, where another bridge will be constructed to link the other side. A very important Fatoto to Willy, and this has been the voice of the cry of the voice of these people in URR. How important do you think this road project is going to make in the socio-economic development of people in URR?
Thank you so much. Really, I'm impressed with the work that is going on because last year we came here at this right moment. We found the ground very bushy. But today, when you come here, you can see already that a great work has been done. And we have applied through the road. We have seen the road construction also. The first layer, is gone up to a village called Keneba Kantora, and not to Koina. So the level of implementation, we are quite satisfied. Though there are challenges, as you can see. The environmental impact assessment report is not yet, So we see to it that before any project is started, let there be a serious environmental impact assessment before it kick off. Because if not, when eventualities occur, you would not know the magnitude it will be, and you would not know how to find solution. And we have also seen in the project, the community were involved at the beginning, because we learned that 20 heads of villages were consulted and they were sensitized on the project. So that really shows that the involvement of the people is key, and the people must participate in the project. This is what we want to ensure, that let people know that the project is their project. It's meant for the people. So they must show ownership, and they must make sure that they monitor it alongside. If they have seen anything that is not to the interest of the project, they must make an alarm. They must make an alarm. And the other one is like we want NRA to come with acts or policies that are going to ensure that let people not encroach on roads. Now, and if there is road construction taking place, if you are a victim, if the road, your compound is along the road, let them make sure that the people are compensated, and let the road goes with the right dimension. Now you cannot construct a road. You come to a particular place, you narrow it because it's going to affect Honorable South's house or the governor's house. No, and let the required measurements be implemented, and let the victims be compensated. And we also want them to NRA to work hand in glove, and the Ministry of Work with NDMA, so that people who are going to be affected at the end of the day could be compensated. Like we have seen a community where the whole household has been evacuated. They are also they are desperate right now as we are speaking. They need help, but because of the road construction, every development goes with some effects we all know. But at the end of the day, we should be able to tackle all this problem. We would like to thank the Chinese people for the cooperation and the support that they are giving to Gambia. This is China-Gambia relationship, but we want the relationship also to be both sides. Not only China is only giving, but Gambia also to think what to take to China, what they can provide to the people of China, so that our relationship will not going to be parasitic relationship, but rather than mutual way of life. So we thank everybody being participating in the exercise, NRA, Ministry of Works, Gambia Radio and Television. We will thank you for the support that you give to us, so that people know what we are doing, what the committee is doing. And we want everybody in the National Assembly to know that this committee is out there to promote efficiency, to promote that there is value for money in our projects. No matter what, it's a grant, but at the end of the day, taxpayers' money will be put in, since it's co-funded by China and Gambia. So we thank everybody, the committee members, for the support that they have shown during the whole exercise. But this is not the end. We are moving forward to the OMVG project in Jarasoma and the Ndemban Skills Center. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Thank you very much, Mr. Mustafa Adabo. We have just tried Fatoto, is it Basse Fatoto, and we've just seen the level of work you're doing and the community. We just want to ask you the challenges you are facing with the community in terms of this project.
Thank you very much for coming. I first of all want to pay a visit to this project sites. This project, as you know, is a very, very important project, not just for Basse, but the country at large. This they are coming at this time is very, very key. As you have just mentioned concerning the problems, is one of the challenges like the properties in the right of ways. Currently, we are in the rainy season, and then the road, as you know, is expected to go about 10 meters wide, and then some of these structures, facilities, gardens, buildings, and houses of residents, some of them are right in the right of ways, and which has been causing problems to them due to the rains. So far, so good. We've been faced with some of these people's problems. Some of them have had their houses flooded with water, and then some of them have their houses fell down with maybe effect of water. Despite that, we come up with solutions to see how best we can address and mitigate some of these challenges and problems. But in the long run, in the shortest time, we'll be able to solve some of these problems as soon as possible, because we're working on how to relocate some of them, the victims, and all that.
Now, as the project goes on, some compounds will be demolished. Now, you talk about compensation. Now, who are the people who are going to compensate these people whose houses are going to be demolished?
Okay, as you've asked, usually when structures are in the right of ways, facilities and properties, lands authority come in to check, which they've done. They've taken the data and informations of properties and people who are affected. These informations will be gathered, and properties based on whatever they have will be valued. Those values will be budgeted for or against costs. So some of these costs is what they will use to pay or compensate the victims. So the people whose fences or houses or gardens or whatever is affected must be compensated, and they will be compensated. Usually because the ministry is the focal point, and when the funds come, usually it goes to the ministry, and for every affected person is being compensated through the ministry. Yes, the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure.
Thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome, sir. Thank you very much.
4 nations that constituted OMV, as the MP rightly said. So this is an energy project. These four countries came together to facilitate energy for the 4 member states. That is Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, and Guinea-Bissau, Senegal. And because energy is very important, that is power. They have 15, they're going to constitute 15 substations for these 4 member countries. In Gambia, we have only 2 stations, that is Soma. 15 substations.
From the main dam.
From the main dam, Sambangala. Gambia is 2 stations, Soma and Brikama. We have 4 stations in Senegal, 4 in Guinea, Conakry, 5 in Guinea, 4 in Guinea-Bissau, 5 in Guinea-Conakry. Together, 15 substations. When they are all built, they'll get their source from Sambangalo. These stations together will support, facilitate having energy for these 4 member states.
Yeah, just to add on to that, this 4 countries project is interconnection line, which means all these 4 countries will be connected to one another. For Senegal will be connected to the Gambia, and Gambia will get its connection to Farafenni, North Bank. It will come to Jara Somalia, down to the Ghana.
Is it going to be connected to the previous system?
Knowledge system. When the dam is ready, it will be connected to the knowledge system, and the knowledge system will get the source from the dam. Instead of using petrol, so it's now dam, directly from the dam, and no from generator.
What about, if they, how do you see future challenges? Because the dam is built in another country. Now the electricity is supplied in the Gambia. What if the dam has a problem?
Knowledge system is already there. It's going to be, in Gambia, for example, it's going to be a backup. It's not going to be abandoned. We'll get the source from the dam. But any problem, before it's regulated, we'll get the source from the same source, that is NAVEC. And NAVEC is going to be the host. When the project phases out, everything is going to be handed over to NAVEC. So, as he said, interconnection line is going to start from here, all the way right down to Brikama. Alongside, you have 40 meter, the line range. That is our line is going to go through that. That line range has to pass through some communities, farmlands, and their areas. That way, a survey was conducted, and through that survey, all the people affected, we call it PAP, people affected by the project, were identified. They were issued form to know that your line is within the area. In that way, before we do anything, those people affected, we should pay them. We open a file for them. Their files were verified, and we have started paying them. We have compensation. Yes.
What's the minimum rate for compensation?
6,300. We have the highest is 1 million. 1 million. We have some goes with 100 and something thousand, 300,000, 100,000.
Like their properties or the land?
Land.
Okay.
No, I think the compensation for that aspect is the land is going to pass through some people's farmland.
Okay.
Some trees will be cut down as a result.
Yes.
Those trees are going to be compensated. If there is any cropping that was carried out,
yes,
like farming activity, that also will be compensated. That's how
they value your land, value the crop you grow there, the number of trees growing on the ground.
Okay.
The tree, the crop, they value everything plus your land together. So it will give you the amount that you should benefit, and that is just to give you a way of compensation. But still, after when we are ready, we constituted everything. That same land belongs to you. Nobody will take it from you. The only thing you cannot do is to grow trees that will be taller within that range. But otherwise, if it is not tree, anything you are doing, like somebody have this land, we compensated him for his land. After our intervention, next year, he can still
natural. You can't do nothing with those challenges, but as long as other challenges that are man-made, we try to work mitigating the challenges so that the project will be timely delivered. So we thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We also thank you
so much. And
just to
continue on monitoring.
Yeah, just to add, just to inform this gathering that all the transformers that are supposed to be in Brikama here, in summer here and Brikama are all in town, in the country.
That's
yes, they are all in Brikama. Yeah, and all the materials required for this project are all available
on the ground.
Yes.
We are also very happy to receive you. We thank you very much for your time. Although it is Sunday, but tirelessly you came and called us. We are all the way we came. It is a sign of commitment. So we are all Gambians. This is our country, it's our opportunity, it's our project. So let us all come together, have it as our baby, and, try to implement it from the starting to the end. So we thank all of you. For him, not today, me and him, we know each other long time.
skill center, in the Mban skill center. They start, and then the other ones are the technical blocks. Like that other ones, is where you have the lecture rooms. When you go there, you see it. The other one is the workshop. Workshop. So it started in the Second Republic actually, with the Taiwanese. So the project it was going on, we had a consultant through Gamworks, and then the contractors actually at that time was the army. So after the break in the diplomatic relationship between the Gambia and that of Taiwan, then the whole work ceased. And then after that, government during those days feel it necessary to complete the project. So that was where we were involved at the PC level. So we came up with an estimate as to what finished the remaining works. So during that we had an MOU with the army, problems in who to sign and the like. Then that was where the project stopped. Because then the Secretary General used to sign and those people were not there. And then our permanent secretary would sign, countersign. So when that happened, then that was where everything stopped. We have some of the things like the tiles and other things. The tiles are here. We bought the tiles just to complete, but unfortunately when that happened, we couldn't continue. After some time, I think we were asked to hand over to GTTI. Hand over the whole works to GTTI.
This was which year?
I think sometime last year. We were asked to hand over to GTTI for them to continue the work. But when we explained it to the army, they said GTTI cannot take over because it was like an act of parliament for them to complete the work. So that is actually a standstill.
Maybe to clarify more on that area. During some time in it was around 2015 or 2014, the government deemed it necessary to transfer the management of this place to the PC mosque because of the background of the unit in terms of managing projects. The project was transferred to Ministry of Basic and Secondary on the MOPSI. And then we decided for us to do the supervision of the works, and the army will continue to do the technical work. Then we deem it necessary, since we are different parties, we need to sign an MOU. The PC also did an estimate as the cost estimate as to what it needs in terms of resources, what is needed to complete this place. It was then fully funded from government. It was Office of the President that transferred that responsibility to MOPSI and also transferred the responsibility to the army. But the challenge that we had there was when it comes to the release of funds. It came up with a condition that we have to have 2 signatories from MOPSI and 2 signatories from Office of the President. It was Secretary General and one of the PS. And then at MOPSI it was the Permanent Secretary and myself. Then I was the Deputy Project Manager. And then things started moving on. But we used to have a challenge in terms of releasing the funds. Like most of us know, the Secretary General is most of the time out of the country. And this other signatory was transferred out of OP, so there was only one.
works. It's only for the completion of the works. The other thing will be to get the equipment to come here. So I think jointly, all of us have a role to play in that. So, because if you look at the structure, even you can run a university here. You can definitely run a university here. Because here is close to Combo. It's only less than 100 meters, 100 kilometers rather. So it will be easy to run a technical university here even. Like those lecture rooms, they are wide enough to take up to 60 students even, which I don't think if the country is going to have any technical university will need that amount for the start. So this project is here for the whole country. So I think all of us should endeavor to work towards the completion of it. So I don't have much to say, only to thank all of you. So if you have any question, you can ask me. Technically, I think I'll be able to answer.
Yes. Yeah, but way forward. We said way forward. Like, what do you think? Think we can do? What do you recommend to us?
I think the best way forward is for PCU, MOFSI, to continue with the management of these works, because right now we are more of what should be done here to complete the works. And then we've already had an MOU with the Army, so it's just for that MOU to continue. Rather than, taking that responsibility to us, to GTTI, because at the end of the day, when we do this thing finish, we'll hand it over to whatever the beneficiaries. Maybe it could be GTTI even, or it can go to higher education, then they can see who to give it to. Yes, I think that is.
After forward, I think for the way forward on this, we don't need to go and reinvent the wheel. The structures are there. The institutions have been working together. The Army is very familiar with this, and they have the capacity to work with the project coordination unit, that will give the supervision and work with them just to complete this. Because we have already mapped out what needs to be done to complete this place, and it's costed. And the resources we are coming from the Office of the President. I think what we will need the National Assembly is to support the Ministry of Higher Education to move this forward. Let's continue where we stop. Let's work together, and then maybe higher education also need to work with the National Assembly, so that when we get the estimates as to what needs to be done to complete this, that will be factored in their budget, and then if the National Assembly can support the ministry so that this place can be completed. Because a lot of investment has been done here. A lot of good work has already been done here. I think it's very important. This is a national need. And the Ministry of Higher Education also is very proactive. They are very eager for this place to move, because we came here with them, with different donors. They're looking at all means possible, because maybe this completion of this was not factored in their budget. That's why the resources were not available this year. But they've been trying with the different donors, GIZ, COICA, I don't know, other places, just to ensure that this place is moved forward. The minister is very proactive. I think the National Assembly just need to support the ministry so that we continue and move this forward.
But what do you want to see in the expansion, not only the structures, but what expansion would you like to have in the
there is a roadmap. There is a roadmap that is available for this place. I think we master plan, it's available after the completion of the works. I think there are other areas like the dormitories, the staff quarters, and other places to make it usable. But I think this place could be usable immediately works are finished. Then we put them in phases.
Later.
Yes. So let places, if the works is completed, this place is accessible, the equipments are available, they can start enrolling and then moving forward whilst we start working on the other areas like the staff quarters and the like. It's all to do with resources.
Yes, thank you. Do you have something to say?
Yeah. Representative. We really want to go along with our people. So the involvement of the communities, the beneficiaries, the key stakeholders are very key in this. And I think one of the key things that you need to do is your PCU popularization of the work and the existence of this structure. That is very important. Let us use our media houses, both electronic and print media. You have your educational hour programs. dedicate a program that will focus mainly on this Ndemban Skills Center so that Gambians know about these things. Because these are things that can stop our people taking the back way into the Mediterranean Sea because of lack of jobs and skills development. And when that is done and people really understand and showcase the work that is being done here, it's really going to help us. As parliamentarians, we are not going to go alone without our people. So whatever we're doing is going to be in the best interest of our people. And the best interest of our people is the involvement of the community, the structural committees that you have here, the Alikali and his team that are working with, and the satellite communities and the villages that are around here. Then we can go to the wider communities for the involvement and the implementation of these programs. A lot of good work has gone into this, and as alluded to by the quantitative surveyor, we need to engage the ministry so that we maintain the army to continue this work. We are not technicians, but looking at the structure, how solid it is. And I think it's important that that continuity is done so that we don't reinvent the wheel and then make sure that the deadline or the proposed date for September, we have students who will be here, even if they can commit, but at least something need to be started in September for the next academic year. On that note, I want to thank both the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education and Higher Education and the Army for the good work that they have done. And I know the Ministry will continue to solicit more funds with more donors that are focused, that will be able to meet the niche and the importance of these skills training programs so that the YEPs and all other youth development programs, this can be a base for all of them to consolidate our programs for the young people. So on behalf of my colleagues, from the team here, we want to thank all of you. And the Alikali and his team, it shows their readiness to support this program, and they will still be behind it. And this is an opportunity for us as people's representatives to showcase and then make sure these are things that go into the annals of the history of this country so that we can make a resume of all the good things that had been done and the responsibility and the support that we have given. Our doors will be open and will give you all the support that is needed. And as I alluded to by our chairperson, the budget calls for budget proposals are coming maybe in the next few weeks. So you need to fast track your budget preparation and then make sure that it is submitted to your line ministry for submission to the National Assembly. And one of the proposals that we are making at the National Assembly, all unit heads and departments are going to come and defend their budget. So we need to see those things happening, and we will make sure that all the works that are done are focusing more on programs rather than allocating funds that will go into personal benefits and not targeting the masses of the people, especially our young people. So on that note, we want to thank you very much.
Ansanya muni so ya bamba bo jamban tabarane maro telagina. Bambalege, bambalege, so fanya bamba. Musoli ba kumbola la jibambo ela